nobody can really expect or look forward to. I mean, Willie Snead really kind of came out from injuries happening to the Saints wide receiver core and people departing that gave him an opportunity. I mean, stuff like that just – you don't expect these guys to do so well when they come in, and yet when they do and then they get taken away because of injuries, it makes it even worse. The Saints have actually found players who, regardless of starting, show that they can be quality depth, if nothing else, and yet the injury bug seems to have nipping on the heel of everybody on this team. It's nipped at Drew Brees multiple times in the past 2 years. I mean, it's nipped at our entire secondary for, it seems, years on years, because this isn't new. I mean, this has happened to Keenan Lewis, Jabari Greer, Mike McKenzie. Our secondary seems to have stayed injured for the entirety of Sean Payton being here, with the exception of Jenkins and Harper, because when they were the mainstays in the backfield of the secondary, they seem to just stay there. But corners, man, we have been flipping corners like pancakes these past few years, and it's just insane to me. I mean, it can't be how the entire NFL is. I obviously don't follow all 32 teams' injury reports, but there's no way that we're average. I just can't see it.
I couldn't tell you as well on every team. I follow the NFC South fairly well, but I mean, even in that case, you don't have as many guys as the Saints lose. I mean, you look at a guy like Jabari Greer, who I've said for the longest time, people were, all ecstatic about the idea, or basically, following the national trend of saying the Saints were, missing Jimmy Graham and the Saints missed Darren Sproles, and no question, their offensive production would have definitely helped. I've maintained my position for the longest time. The Saints missed a guy like Jabari Greer because when he was back there, being a corner, that's when the Saints were at their strength. And without him, things have been the same. Well, the Saints have yet to find a tandem that can match what Jabari Greer and Tracy Porter were able to do. They thought they had that in P.J. Williams and Delvin Breaux, but injuries, of course, have stepped up. And as you said, during the Sean Payton tenure, but it hasn't just been cornerbacks, linebackers. Ellaby can't stay on the field. He can't even get on the field, much less stay on it. I remember when they brought in the guy from Dallas, Victor Butler. He was supposed to be a guy that definitely, he knew Bryan's system. He was going to come in and help out and be a pass rusher. Doesn't even see the field. He gets hurt in training camp, mini camp. A guy like what they're trying to bring in, Dan Morgan, somebody who has suffered concussion for many, many years. Dan Morgan doesn't even take a snap for the Saints. Decides, I'll call it quits. And I believe there was another guy as well. I can't think of his name at the time, but another linebacker came in, and before he could take a snap, he decided that he didn't want to play. So it's almost ridiculous, what's been going on with the Saints when it comes to injuries. But as they say, injuries are a part of the game, and it's next man up for the Saints. It's next three men up, because it seems like that's how they go out.
Well, really, I think the only people that it's going to really help in terms of, and I hate wording like that, in terms of an injury, but maybe, like Brian Dixon and more corners are able to come up on the roster because Eric Harris has to go down. Another possibility would be, we've been unsure who I want to say comes up now. Because really, on our practice squad, we've only got, I think, I'm trying to pull this off memory, 2 defensive players on the practice squad right now, if I remember right. We've got a cornerback in Calhoun. I just pulled it up. And then we have a defensive tackle, which is Scott Mabry. Everybody else on that entire practice squad, which is now 10 players. It used to be less than that. 8 players are offensive players. So even now, we have basically run out of defensive players. So we'd have to go back and do like with B.W. Webb and sign somebody off the street if we really just want to fill the slot with a defensive player. I don't really know enough about Calhoun or Rashad Mabry to make an opinion on whether or not they would be worth bringing in. With guys like Antonio being cut from the Colts and a linebacker from New England just got cut today. I mean, that could be what you see coming in, but I didn't even realize the practice squad was this out of players. So really, we have nothing to draw on now as the Saints, and that just depresses me further.
I don't anticipate a practice squad guy being able to come in and even contribute from a depth.
You're real light, brother. I can't hear you.
I'm sorry about that, man. I told you the cell phone has been going crazy on me. Is it a little bit better now?
Yeah, a little.
My phone was just fine until I dropped it a few times, and now it doesn't even perform the same. But, the show must go on, so I'm going to try to, tough it out. I'm not on injury reserve just yet.
Yeah, I feel you.
With that being said, man, I don't think there's going to be any practice squad guy that comes in and is able to contribute, not even from a depth standpoint. Right now, the Saints are going to have to try to sign a street free agent if they're going to even replace Eric Harris, or they might have to go the route of just saying, you know what, we're just going to roll with the guys that we have. If somebody else goes down, then we'll have to worry about it from there. But they might just have to go with the people that are there now. I do, recall today reading the New Orleans Advocate and as well as the Times 50 Nola that, Sean Payton and Dennis Allen were in the process of trying to, create a new package or some new defensive package, because maybe the reason why they're saying that is because they know that they're limited on the guys that they have. So you may have to change your plan. Bryan did it in his first year when he went to the 3 safety package. It may be time for the Saints to get creative and come up with something new and just whoever your best 11 guy. And, the word is Ellaby should be back this week. Whoever are your best 11 guys, you get them on the field and use the chips fall where they make. No matter what position, you find a way to deploy those guys. It's about time for Stephon Anthony to start earning his rookie keep. So if he's nothing but a blitzer, and the only time you're going to put him in the game is to go after the quarterback, so be it. Whatever you have to do to get your best 11 on the field, that's what you do.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of – honestly, they need to change their defensive style. I mean, Dennis Allen is – they've been talking heavy 3 safety sets. They've been talking about more secondary players. Honestly, at this point, just bring in more linebackers. And go old school, go like, I'm not saying play a 52 defense, but I mean, go like the early 2000 Ravens and stack it heavy line and heavy linebackers and just hope that you get there fast enough to where they cannot beat you deep. I mean, because at this point, do we really have another shot? I mean, guys like Crawley are performing admirably, but I mean, he's not starter level yet. I mean, Von Bell, he's not ready. Kenny Vaccaro has been lights out when he's healthy, but he's been kind of hit or miss. He missed, a game this year. And then Bird, I mean, we've talked about Bird ad nauseum. I mean, 2 years we've talked about Bird being potential. So, I mean, at this point, why not just put Laurinaitis, Stephon Anthony, Robertson, and Ellaby all on the field at the same time and, and just see what happens. And I would put one of those on the field and take off like Paul Kruger so that you don't have 12 men on the field. But I think everybody kind of knows what I'm getting at. It's the fact that we got to stop worrying about getting beat and having 6 secondary players out there because it's just not working. And we're losing people. They're really dropping like flies at this point. So we just kind of have to take what we're being given. And I'd rather start stacking the box and hoping that we get, maybe give up 2 or 3 big plays than to keep watching these people drop and just having nothing. I mean, there's nothing you can do. I can't expect, B.W. Webb to come in and take care of a Kelvin Benjamin. It's silly.
Oh, no question. I mean, at this point, it's what we, pretty much discussed many, many times on the show thus far. It's about the idea that the Saints don't have a pass rush. So even if you had Deion Sanders back there, you're still going to, give up big plays.
Mm-hmm.
In some ways.
I'm losing you, my brother.
Saints are going to have to do something as far as changing what they're doing and the way they're doing it. They're going to have to, number one, stop the run. Put guys on the field who can stop the run. The Atlanta Falcons didn't beat you. Devontae Freeman beat you.
Yeah.
Let's make no mistake about that. Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman pretty much ran all over the Saints. And the second thing the Saints have to do is they have to get to the quarterback. Of course, Matt Ryan didn't have his best game versus the Saints, but Derek Carr shredded you. Phillip Rivers was eating them alive until the Saints decided to go man and play. Just live with the blitz and dodge the blitz. And the reason why you have to play that way is because you have no pass rush. Well, it's high time the Saints find one. I mean, you haven't found one under Rob Ryan. You have yet to find one in the Dennis Allen. The last time the Saints saw anything like a pass rush, Alex Smith and Vernon Davis beat you for the 2011 playoff game. That was the last time I can remember us having a legit pass rush. We're talking 5 years ago. It's long overdue that the Saints do something. I don't care if you get beat by the blitz. You can't let the quarterback just sit back there and have all day. Not in the NFL.
Well, I mean, because as it sits right now, we've got two players who are able to consistently get pressure. Cameron Jordan, and he gets double-teamed and triple-teamed every game. And I know people like to say that he disappears, but in all honesty, when you're facing two offensive linemen, 600 pounds, he's not going to beat them. He's not J.J. Watt. He's not Von Miller. He's extremely good. He's Pro Bowl level, but he's not that good. And then Nick Fairley, who has been a very welcome surprise. But until there is a complete line that's able to stretch out that pressure, I mean, they've got to do something. And if you have to bring in Rowan Harper as an extra safety set and just play cover one and leave Kenny Vaccaro or somebody back there deep and just hope that he can cover the entire field and range, and then you use Harper to blitz, so be it. I mean, better to actually die trying than to just get slowly burned all game long. Because they've shown that. A lot of Saints fans don't seem to recognize this, but this run defense is really good. You take away the Devontae Freeman game, which that was the game where not only was Tyler Davison out, which he's been a pretty welcome surprise in terms of run defense, but the linebacking core was pretty dang hurt as well that game. So take away that game, this defense is pretty dang stout against the run. And there's some statistics for that too. It's not just we're pulling that out. I mean, they've shown that they're strong.
And that's what people don't give Cam Jordan enough credit for. It's the idea that, as you stated, he does get double and triple teamed a lot. And that's because there's nobody on the opposite side to help him, as well as he has to play the backside of the run. Why? Because you're not going to run to Cam Jordan's side. He's the only person capable of playing the run on that side. So he doesn't get credit for his run defense, and he's a big guy. Cam Jordan, 6'4", 6'5", legit 280. That's his forte. He's a multi-faceted defensive end.
Yeah.
If he gets you 8 sacks a year, then that's what he was supposed to do. The problem, and he could probably get you more than that, is that he doesn't have anybody on the opposite side. And I've stated this so many times now, people should get tired of hearing it. The Saints have yet to replace Junior Gallette's production. You don't want Junior Gallette, the idiot, roaming around. No. But the Junior Gallette sack production, those 10 sacks a season, that is what you need. Those 10 sacks is what you need, because that frees up Cam Jordan. You can't key on him. And the Saints have yet to find that. If they're smart, if they're lucky, that's what you target this year. I know sometimes you can't count on the rookie to come in and make plays. Well, the Saints better, because it's almost time where you can't bargain shop anymore. The Saints can't be the team that says, you know what, we're going to try to get a fifth rounder or an undrafted free agent steal. Those days are over. You've already wasted many years of Drew Brees' career with bad defense. You let a second Super Bowl slip away in 2011 when Greg Williams went blitz out. The Rob Bryan, that tried and failed. And by the way, people should always keep in mind, Rob Bryan was not Sean Payton's first choice when he got the job. So that says even more than anything else. But now you got Dennis Allen. You got a guy that you trust. Help him out. Get him somebody that can rush the passer, and that way he can play his corners. Delvin Breaux will be back soon, so will Sheldon Rankins. E.J. Williams, nobody knows what's going to happen with him. It's kind of weird that both rookie cornerbacks, him and Damian Swan, both go out with concussion, and you don't know what's going to happen to him from this point on. But it's time that the Saints stop bargain shopping. They need legit pass rushers, or at least one.
Well, let me also throw this out on Cam, because Cam had his best season in 13 opposite Junior Gallette. We know that. He had 12.5 sacks. But even with Gallette gone, having nobody opposite him, he still got 10 sacks last year. And this year, he's on pace for 10 sacks again. And not is he just on pace for that. He's on pace for the most run stuffs he's ever had in his career and the most tackles he's ever had in his career. Now, that's projections. He might not hit those. But he's on pace to have, to me, his best season as a Saint, because he's basically all alone when it comes to rushing the passer. How can I get mad at Cameron Jordan getting 10 sacks a season when, if I ask anybody to name a strong pass rusher on this defensive team, they ain't going to find one? Hate Junior Gallette all you want. He was a next-level talent when it came to being an edge rusher. And Kakaha, he has spurts, he has moments, but he can't stay